Let's go. And the place to be.
Check 1 2.
Check, check.
Hey, we out here.
Yeah.
Yo,
StreamSpace.
StreamSpace once again.
Yeah, we made it back.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to.
Oh shit. Hey, I can beatbox too. We can get it. Shit.
Damn, what a year, bro.
2023.
Woo!
Yeah. That is true. Like we at the almost the turn of a chapter. A
Man.
couple more days, we go into a whole new book, chapter, whichever one you want to take it, but it's about to switch in a minute.
New chapter. We going to that even number. I think I need that. Keep me grounded, that 24.
That 24.
Yeah.
Did y'all go hard this year?
Shoot. Talk about it.
I don't know. Toby, first painter, I think he went extra hard.
I feel like I was counting it up. While I was just chilling out today. I was like, all right, what did I accomplish? I think one of the biggest things that I accomplished this year was just expanding my circle. Like I got a lot of art stuff done. I got a lot of artwork in, but as far as like my circle, linking up with the dudes at Impossible Shop and all of that stuff, like it's been pretty big. So, that's major.
Yeah, for sure. My man, how about you? Got busy?
Yeah, man.
It's like, I did some things.
Yeah, I went super ham this year. I ain't gonna cap.
Yeah.
Also had some time to reflect on like the different opportunities and activations.
Mm-hmm.
Kicked off the year with Aawful Land. Well, I ain't gonna say kicked off the year, but that was probably like in the first quarter. That was Cinco de Mayo. So
Okay.
Mhm.
from March throughout summer, even throughout fall. Yeah, I feel real good about the relationships.
Yeah, definitely.
Expanding, linking with a lot of like-minded individuals. I feel like it was a great way to end like the season, to kind of be like, oh yeah, so we about to, not only did we unlock some allies, but we also unlock some territory on the map itself.
No doubt. For
New
real.
territory.
Yeah,
I like new territory for sure.
Yeah.
Just like stepping into new things that you may not have previously thought you would ever do, or may not even thought of doing, and now here you are.
For real.
Yeah. I know one of my favorite things that you had dropped, Aaron, was the newspaper thing. It's like right behind you, like the newspaper joint that was folded up.
Yeah.
When I
Aawful
seen that,
Friends.
I know it seems so like slight, not slight, but it's like a piece of paper type shit, But like when I seen that, I was like, oh yeah, he on a different wave here. For
Yeah.
real though, and even for the fact it wasn't just a piece of paper, it was like folded up, and it had the different squares and the angles, and like it all made sense in like a booklet. But then like you had the main picture on the portrait,
Yeah, the poster zines. Yeah,
Totally.
that was very intentional.
poster zine.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what it's called. Getting back to experiences where, people look forward to showing up to your events because they know that they gonna leave with something,
Mm-hmm.
and then also leave with something.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So, real
Right.
big on like that whole.
That's right.
Just thinking about like with the type of stuff, growing up that made being, just a kid raw. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
It was Happy Meals and shit like that, and the stuff where it's just like you get something just by being loyal to the brand or just by tapping in. Like I'm really big on that. So that's, that's something
Definitely that
definitely
collector's
into.
piece.
Mm-hmm.
And years to come, looking back, like that's gonna be pure gold.
Yeah.
I know my ma got one of the flyers. She's holding on to one of the flyers. So yeah, you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How did you feel, Toby, this year about just the shows, like your in person activity?
Man, it really ramped up because it's funny because you be in the lab and you're working on all this stuff and nobody's seen it, and you just got to kind of go through that valley, knowing that the light's at the end of the tunnel, and then once it hit, Awful Friends first is what kicked it off.
Yeah.
And so like talking about building the relationships, that's probably one of the biggest right here. Is like we kind of solidified what we got going on as far as like how we collaborate and how we move in. And then we did the Aawful Friends, which was excellent. Had a lot of hype. Coming off that, went into the Inner Museum. So then, like, boom, 2 power plays right there, just to keep the name in the news.
Yeah.
So
And the dope thing about the Inner Museum, that we actually activated Shop Impossible. So
For sure.
yeah, shout out the family over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Toby had that. He did the install in Shop Impossible, right? And then so like if you kind of following like the I guess
Those
the map.
pins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the
pins.
pins
Yeah,
in
the
the
map.
map.
You know, right across the street, you know, next year at Spaces we're gonna activate something there as well. So
Yeah.
very strategically, just kind of making our rounds.
See, I've been watching that. It's a new show based off Godzilla, and they can track Godzilla, and they got these pins of like where he been just like
Yep.
smashing shit
Yep,
up.
yep,
That's what
that's
y'all
it,
doing.
right.
Y'all just
Putting in that
Yeah.
pin,
just trail,
right?
you know, the
trail.
trail. Yeah,
Exactly.
the old dusty road. That's what's up though, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's like Cleveland is it's a melting pot, man. It's a lot of creativity right here in Cleveland. And I swear, when I was in my 20s, I know y'all felt it too, being around, you know, trying to get out. You know, we got to get out to the LA, the blah, 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 blah. But like these last couple years, bro, it's like I'm glad I'm in Cleveland, man. You know, meeting people like y'all, seeing people that really are being creative and just doing shit that's not normal. Like that shit is hard.
Yeah, no, it's crazy you said that because I think about all of the time, like just how grateful, and I'm like, let me know if y'all feel this way too, but I just felt like an overwhelming sense of just gratitude for just being 20, like being in my 20s when I was in my 20s. You know, like I feel like if I was in my 20s sooner, I would have missed this shit now.
Yeah.
And then if I'm also likely if I'm, you know, if I would have been too late, I would have not been able to have my hand actively in what seems like the kind of like the passing of the baton.
Yeah.
So it's
For
like
sure.
being able to grow up with like just all of that action, you know, all like Asher Roth, Dom Kennedy, you know, the cool kids, like all of that type of shit going on, and then also to live through like a pandemic and like kind of living through like a modern day what felt like an art renaissance, or maybe I should say more so like an awakening of sorts.
Yeah.
And just being able to participate in that in a real way, like because like straight up leaving like, you know, my job to pursue art, like that shit felt like super, like that was a very transformative moment, you know.
100.
It's while you were saying that, you know, it was seeming to me like you say you were glad you were 20 to kind of catch it, right? I agree with that 100%, but then I feel like there's also this paradox of that statement where it's like you would have did this shit regardless of what time, what day, because like you guys are doers, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people have ideas, you know, but they may be scared, don't know where to get the pen or the canvas, you know, or the piano or the drumstick, or even want to pick it up or try, you know. So like y'all are so great because it's like we are at a time, and yeah, you know, it's a good time where people, I wish I would have been born in the 80s, yet people always been creative, people always had ideas, people always been
That's
able
for sure.
to go and do, you know, and y'all are both doers, you know, like y'all, you get them ideas, and everybody have ideas, everybody got that, oh, I wish I would have made that, you know, but like y'all
That's
be
true.
like, no, I made that. You know,
Yep.
yeah, and you know, don't ever let that die, and you won't, because that's how to feel the soul of an artist, you know. But and then you put both of y'all together, and y'all trying to like combine powers. This is like some, I don't like, what is this, like two superheroes type of shit? This is
Yeah,
like
most definitely.
you know, like what's the
like-
craziest duo y'all?
Well, I
that y'all
feel
think
like
of?
I really like Aaron. Before we were on camera, he broke it down with the Gogeta,
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's where it's at. We Gogeta, we Vegito in it.
that's
You know what I'm saying,
crazy.
with the fusion rings, because we got the drip too.
And the drip. I must say, y'all came in with the swag today. I said, "Oh, I'm underdressed. Let me go switch up real quick, cause they out here getting it in."
Yeah, no. Oh man, so I think when you are able to like find a person creatively that you resonate with, and it's like y'all don't have to say a lot, like y'all can kind of get straight to it,
Yeah.
and like never miss a beat. I think being able to find that in Toby has been very rewarding, especially just where I'm at in my career. I would say that as far as like having like a close knit community,
Yeah.
and having people like on the same type of time and having the same goals, like that's very important for all of us. But I know for me right now, like, you know, being able to have, you know, people that you can charge off of, but then also charge too. And it's like,
For
it's
sure.
like every time you're around, it's like, you know, y'all can build each other up. Like,
Right.
I knew that
Definitely.
I knew that that was something that was gonna not only be imperative, that was going to be imperative for me as an individual, but the scene needed that.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of, you know, organizations and institutions that are for artists, but there are very little, if no, organizations that are artist-led organizations for artists.
That's true.
If I said that correctly.
Artists making
I
the
think you said it,
decisions
yeah.
and calling the shots and saying the yes or no, or we need this and we gonna make this happen. You know, rather, you know, the artist going to, like you said, to an organization not really made up of pure artists, and somehow they kind of hold the opportunities or the money or the, you know, things like that sometimes, and that sucks. But that's what, you know, you guys are here to change. You know, create a, you know, a like-mindedness of people that not only can make art but make art better for all of us to make, you know, the space safe, you know.
100.
You know, and make it not even safe, but just open to just do whatever. When I think of you guys, you know, people think that you're necessarily trying to create a certain lane, but I see you guys more so like creating the ability to do whatever you want. You know, I can see a younger person seeing y'all and be like, I can do whatever I want to do. You know, type shit, instead of like I got to be just like them. You know, that's what y'all vibe.
That's what we're trying to give off. Definitely that energy. You
Yeah.
know, definitely trying to. Well, it's like it goes back and forth because, like, you know, Aaron will inspire me, then I'll inspire him, and in the meantime, we're trying to inspire. You know, I want everybody else. You know what I mean? Everybody else, and just keep marching. You know what I mean? Keep marching through it, and just show and prove. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the future at all, or I don't know how much we keep in the secret, you know, in terms of future ideas, you know. But I just coming from at least the mediums, you know, I know your last wave, and I'm not saying you're going to stop in the digital aspect, but you know, that kind of digital 3D kind of world, you know, and you know, and I know even some of the mediums you were on, you know, last, you know, but obviously you guys are about to be on a different type of canvas, if you will.
Yeah. So I think going forward and what we're, I think, probably the most excited about is this idea of transmedia.
Yeah.
Which is essentially the culmination of many mediums living together visually, and how we look forward to taking advantage of transmedia is being able to essentially create a what we would call original mixed media programming, or, you know, surreal TV, or, you know, there's so many names for it because it's actually not even a thing yet. But transmedia is a great term because, you know, when you think of, you know, photography, film, people utilizing software to create videos, whether it's AI or engines like Unreal Engine and stuff like that.
Unity.
So being able to create I don't even want to call it an agency, but a platform that takes advantage of all of these things, but through a refreshing lens that's true to, you know, our roots here in the Midwest.
Okay. What's your take on the future?
Well, definitely, like, I feel like with the digital stuff, I've kind of like laid down a groundwork. And now as we're building a team, which is a really crucial element to it, that team is going to be able to help really develop these ideas into maybe like the grand picture of what we really have envisioned, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, so like, really with it, when we linked up, I feel like there's no ego involved, and it's just like now we're really trying to build something that we otherwise couldn't be able to you know, pull off without the assistance of this team that we're putting together, you know. And so I mean, the project I'm working on right now is a short film, but as far as like the way it all lines up is like, you know, when you're working in something like a film or this transmedia sector that we're moving into, it's really important that you put together a production team.
Yeah.
You know, because there's so many different moving parts of it,
Right.
that you need all these different you know, I like the word masterminds, and I feel like, so when I like, there's this idea like the mastermind theory, you know, you need like your 5 masterminds, you know, and like I knew that I wanted to do certain things, but I knew I couldn't get there by myself. And so when I think the first one was Aaron. That was like, all right, I was like, I mean, there's a couple other, but like Aaron was a big one where it was like we just started, you know, getting into that timing with it. And then so we're just putting together our little masterminds, you know, our mastermind.
I mean,
collective.
you gotta get that team, man, because like you say, you can't do it on your own. It's like when you're trying to accomplish big things. I mean, who does it on their own and does everything on their own? You know,
facts. And you know, you're talking about ego and like the fact that I agree 100%.
Yeah,
Toby, like there's no ego when we come to the table, and in fact, when I think of you know, other creatives and what's holding them back, oftentimes it is their ego. It's their inability to either ask for help or to extend or, you know, just build relationships with other people.
It's hard when you're an artist and you have a vision. But like, for a good example, like we're working with this guy Tony, and Tony is an animal when it comes to like digital, you know, the 3D digital, just media in general.
Yeah.
And it comes to a point where you have to realize like, this guy's gonna do it better than I can do it.
Yeah.
And then
it is what it
and
is.
that's hard for artists to realize, is like this guy's gonna do it better than I can do it. So I need to let this guy do it. I may have the ideas, but his execution, you know,
gonna get me there.
is gonna really take it, you know. And so like, you know, like I put together, for the thing that we're currently working on, I put together this demo thing, and then made like a little background. And then, which it has its own kind of, when you're working like in a more like low poly type thing, that has its own aesthetic. But then, you know, we kicked it to Tony, and then Tony just put it on steroids and came back
Took
with
it to
a
the
whole,
next level.
like a whole different level. And it was like, there was no way I could go there with it. Yeah, he turned it all the way up.
But the thing about it too, though, is like having that level of trust there.
Exactly.
Because the thing about it is, I know a lot of individuals who will ideate with me all day. Like they'll send me a bunch of shit, or they'll hit me up with ideas, and that's fine. I'll even entertain it to a degree. But ultimately what I'm waiting on is for you to bring it back to me in a form in which we can now actually talk about what that next step would be.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, if you're giving me an idea, it's like I got to deal with that all day already as it is, on top of my own ideas.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't need any more help with any
that.
more imagining or creating or anything. For me, it's just like, and I know, you know,
It's the same.
It's like,
I get that 100%.
It's like we need people that are willing to work, and
that
want
to execute,
work, that want to be. And, you know, being a creative, I will attest to being like an athlete. And it's like, everybody wants to be Jordan, but nobody wants to do Jordan practice.
Nope.
Nobody wants to take the time to work with a Scottie Pippen or Dennis
Exactly.
Rodman.
That's what I was gonna say.
And when you're working with a Scottie Pippen or a Dennis Rodman, you have to understand, like Toby was saying, sometimes you gotta, you know, put the ball in the other person's hand and trust that individual wholeheartedly, so that they can deliver.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, we only gonna get to the playoffs so many times, and I'm gonna pass you the rock, and you
gotta do what you gotta do with it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And that comes off of just really, I think, just being able to like work together in situations that allow for everyone to have an opportunity to step up to the plate.
Yeah, that's fire though, man. You know, that in itself is an art and a you know, a beautiful journey, just finding that team. And once you do find that team, and you get to clicking, you know, and then you can like reproduce, like you said, how many times we gonna go to the playoffs? How many times can we reproduce a new product or a new idea or a new experience? You know, and that's gonna be a beautiful thing. You know, I'm excited to see, you know, what's about to come of it. You know, because both of y'all just got two crazy minds, you know, creatively, you know, it's just gonna be wild. Where do you see just the overall art scene just kind of in Cleveland at right now? You know, I know what you guys have in mind, but or maybe you don't see anybody. Maybe you got the sunglasses on and you ain't even paying attention.
No,
You got to pay attention to everything.
You think so?
You got to watch everything.
You could be like Wayne and be like, I don't listen to nobody but me.
well, the scene here in
He
Cleveland.
say that, I'll be like, damn.
I know,
The
right?
scene in Cleveland here is so small.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know me alone personally, like I know a lot of people. So the advantage of that is like I get to hear, even if I'm not paying attention, stuff will always find its way back to me, to where it's like if I might miss it on the gram or in the timeline, then you know, if it's really fire like that, I'm gonna hear about it. And that's how Cleveland is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like you gotta kind of pierce a certain momentum before people kind of talk about you at all.
Yeah.
For sure.
But once you are past that, it's good, because you know, if you can get a person to have an opinion, whether it's like, no, that's whacker, oh, that's raw fire emojis, that's good. That means you still in the conversation. So I say all of that to say, it's a lot of like young cats that are killing it right now, like killing ham. And I want to start with my young homies first, because I've noticed that their attitudes, the ego thing that we're talking about, with them, a lot of times it seems almost like it's not even there. And that's a great place
like
to
not
be
at all,
as an artist.
Yes.
Because it's like they still so young and hungry.
Yes.
And like now they have all of these tools and stuff like that.
Early.
So they turn.
Yeah.
They turn. So like really, like I'm really like the most invested in the youth for real. Like you will see me like repost, show endless amount of love to like my young homies, because I really believe in them.
Yeah.
A lot of cats my age or in between are still doing some very dope stuff. But again, it kind of goes back to like, well, you can't just be in this for you feel me? You can't just be in this to just ride off in the sunset in the limo type shit. Bro.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be willing to pull up to the table and contribute. And a lot of cats
really
unfortunately aren't investing in the youth. A lot of OGs, well, I would say older men, I ain't even gonna call them OGs, a lot of older men haven't invested in the youth, so they are already up out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They are officially, unfortunately, like irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of just like, well, your input is no good because you didn't invest in us no way. So that's fine. Yeah. You're in the stands. That's cool.
Yep.
But then when it comes to like the younger cast or the cast that are like around my age, it's like we have a responsibility to them.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, just share and push them forward.
Straight up.
Yeah, it's just crazy even thinking about that too, man. Because when I was young, we had the cell phones, but it didn't have no apps on it. You know, if you had to go out your way to get a laptop, you know, everything was just expensive. You know, just these phones are just wild. You know, you got the phone and you 7 and you see these kids that got channels just popping and this and that popping off a phone. You know, I mean, it's literally popping off the phone is a wild tool.
A wild tool, ain't it?
But it's like we gonna be first generation like hip grandparents though.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yes.
Because we coming out of that like 8-bit, but we seen it go from 16-bit Sega Genesis to now we just doing everything on the phone. So so I feel as far as aesthetically. Because everything goes in cycles, so everybody like that flavor, it comes back up, and it's really interesting the ingredients we're cooking with.
Yeah. I mean, it's moving fast too, though. Every day you see a new thing that you can do something with, or create with,
sure.
But it's still cool. Even you guys as artists still kind of, amongst all the tools, you still have those things that you focus on, like I'm gonna focus on this aspect of whether it's paint or digital, so that's cool to just see focuses in new areas. And it's for me personally, I'm a tech person too, so seeing how you guys combine art with technology as well, those digital aspects and really diving into that, like things like AI.
Respect it. You got to respect the future.
Yeah,
the thing is that
some people don't, man.
Like again, like you could go back and see like, well, okay, why Drake's been going for so long? That's because he respects the youth and he respects the future. Yeah. And he sees and he stays with it and sees where everything's moving. So it's like you gotta stay up on it as much as possible. And when something new comes out, embrace it. Don't fear it. A lot of people they are afraid of the AI and this and that. But it's like you got to put yourself into a position where it doesn't even impact you in that, and you can use it as a tool, you know?
Straight up. Yeah.
And
And I mean, and to that point, I think that was like the success of that lended to the success of Awful Friends and the timing of it because we explored those AI conversations and issues, and it was a hot topic at that time.
Super hot.
So it's like if you know, like, oh, now it's like, oh, now it's art seems more relevant now. Because it's like, when the last time you went to a gallery show and they was talking about some shit that you could like really relate to?
Yep.
You feel me? So I think,
and, you know, and like the thing is like it's good to have like a something to push off against.
Yeah.
So as much as people may say like, oh, I don't like AI and this and that, but that is what, like, out of that chaos, that's how something new is created, you know, and you got that friction, and then new things, new types, new forms, new ideas come off of that. So it's like, that's just the kind of the way that it works, you know, in art and nature. Yeah. It's always like when you got like a little bit of a competition, you know, when you got to press, you really got to push it to, you know, to distinguish yourself.
And from that all comes a new consciousness, which really, like, young Cleveland Renaissance as an idea, I mean, it's a consciousness.
100%.
You know?
It's an understanding.
Yeah. And so it's one of those things where it's like, if I have to sit here and explain to you what young Cleveland Renaissance is, then
you ain't getting it. you don't get it.
If those three words don't sum it up for you, and you can't associate that with what me and Toby got
all
going
is lost.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I see you. I see you when I see you.
Exactly.
Straight up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to champion the time that we're in right now.
Yeah.
This influx of technology, but still honoring traditional forms of creating art. Like, cause that is the foundation. That'll always be the canon that we come from.
100.
You know, like, there's nothing.
Said it best.
You feel me? Like, and so really, like, going forward, I know you were asking about like what we have to look forward to. Really, both because I know I've been back in the studio creating more traditional work. But then aside from that, the project that we have coming up in January here, January 12th, at Spaces, which is right across the street from Shop Impossible. So, you know, we moving that mark right across the street.
Buying up the block.
Yeah, straight up. And that whole with the Young Cleveland Renaissance's first, I would say, premiere.
Yeah, demonstration almost.
Demonstration.
A demonstration.
Yeah, our first demo is going to be that night activating Spaces in the Vault Gallery. So we'll have a video. Our first video presentation / installation will be there, and people will be able to experience this new wave, I'll call it.
Man, that shit crazy, bro. Yeah. It's crazy because it's like we watch those documentaries of like Basquiat, and we watch those documentaries even on the music side of just like the early things of hip hop, you know, and it's just like our time right now, you know. It's just like we're living that truth of the new uprise, you know. It's like, and I especially feel that coming out after COVID too. The COVID was almost just like Noah's Ark. It just came and just like it just laid it all out, wiped it all clean. Everybody is at a level playing field. It's not necessarily the resources because people still had their bread and stuff, but in terms of like ideas and like what's next, everybody was at the same place, you know. And now you just see these new things and seeing those people who really coming out of that with like, okay, we here now, you know.
Straight up. I think, you know, Toby said it best. You know, that was the brandemic.
The brandemic. Yeah.
And so with that, it did even the playing field, because you can have a lot of money and you might not have a vision. And you can have a lot of vision and a lot of money. But the difference in those two things is that I can always, as a creative, create opportunities and that bankroll for myself. Once your bag start getting low and you don't got no ideas to stand on, it start getting spooky. Like, but also if you're creative and you don't know how to harness that power within yourself to, if you don't know how to use your mutant power, it gets spooky too.
That's for sure. Yep.
And that's why it goes full circle back to the youth, because that's why I'm able to, in the music aspect, like I've been playing drums since I was a kid. I've been making beats since I was a kid, right? So it's like if it do get tough, and I know I can find a place to play some drums and get some bread. I know if I really wanted to make a beat and push to sell beats, I could do that, But that came from the trial and error from a child and like learning it, and practicing it for years and really perfecting your craft, So like you said before, like it's still on the youth to like for us to get them going at an early age, man, because that does make it. It makes it more of a reality to live off this or be, as an adult, really still have it a part of your life. Because if you don't, that's when people are like, yeah, I haven't done that in a while, or I used to do that. Because like you said, they didn't know how to activate it. They didn't know how to keep it around and make it useful,
And that's why they need us.
Yeah.
Not only just the youth, but it's grown-ass men and women that are new to leaning into their creativity. So they don't know how to use it.
Nope.
And so we have a beautiful privilege to be able to demonstrate, be the demonstration of, hey, if you bank on yourself,
right,
if you invest in yourself, if you spend your last on you, but know that there's going to be an outcome that's going to be, bigger than your wildest dreams, you got to be able to have that faith in yourself. But that's easier said than done, and I understand that. The youth need us. Everybody that is looking to live a prosperous, creative, and fulfilling life, you gotta just learn the game.
Yeah,
you gotta learn how to.
Yep.
You gotta learn how to hustle. You gotta learn to hustle. You gotta know yourself. You have to be willing to view yourself and your craft as a brand, if that is what you want. Now there are levels to it, just like how it's levels in the NBA. You can have hoop dreams, and that's okay, but that's up to you to act on those hoop dreams and make it a reality ultimately. And so art is no different. We all have art dreams, but equally so you have to have a regiment that is going to allow for you, if that's what you want, you have to have a regiment that's going to benefit you on this journey.
Yep. And when like the way that art movements change, right? So, coming out of the pandemic and everything, we see that art is changing, right? And we know, and it has been changing. Oh, yeah. So it doesn't just, it's not like you just go through the door and suddenly a new movement comes, right? Like there's a new movement. It blends together. But at the same time, like with the Young Cleveland Renaissance and kind of incorporating that, making it an image, an icon, a brand, we're trying to stamp that and take a hold of that and be the leaders of the new school. You know what I mean? And get ahead of it and then say like, all right, this is what art is gonna look like, 2030.
Straight up, because we can't afford for the powers that be and the people with the money to tell us what's going on any longer.
Right. Because the money gets funny and it controls it, and then a certain it steers it in a certain way, So like we're just trying to build something from the ground up that we will have complete control over. It's just like Rockefeller. It's just like some Jay-Z stuff, where you get your own publishing and you can produce it. You have 100% creative control of whatever's going on with it. Yeah. And then we establish it with such strong. It has such a strong and lasting impact. It has such a notoriety to it that the people with the money want to come do business with you on your own terms.
Straight up, and that's the point. Well, not the only point, but it's like, what does that segue look like between the culture and like the machine?
Exactly. The culture versus the machine.
And so, as the frontline members of culture, it's our duty to, step up to the occasion, but then also to get this information and to communicate it to down, but also to communicate it up forward.
Right.
Because there's a huge disconnect right now between the machine and the culture.
Yeah.
How can I back this up, you may ask, Aaron?
Get 'em.
Well, we see it in museum and gallery attendances.
Yeah.
we see it in how money is actually very much literally handled by the people at play. They don't trust us with bread.
Yeah.
How do I know that, Aaron? Well, the series of hoops.
It just so happens.
It's
right.
Coincidentally,
Actually.
like when we notice there's a competitiveness there, but then also we see and know who is putting work in.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what's the hesitation in just going directly to those individuals for partnerships?
Yeah.
I mean, it has to not be safe. I mean, I'm thinking from a business perspective, the only way you wouldn't go directly to a solution is if it's too risky.
Yeah,
right.
It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's that the rap battle that we have going on between Malik X and Marcus Storm, like that comes from that same thing that you're talking about. You know, the magazine had a list. The people that won we didn't agree with it.
Right,
you know,
clear it
somebody
up.
that was below was underneath someone, and we know that person is out here way more, does way more shows. You know, it's just like, how did this list get like this? You know, the second person's talking about, I ain't put music out in 4 years. You know, like, who's saying yes to this? But like you said, the establishment can say yes or no to whatever, you know, and like what's holding them back from really being in tune with, you know, somebody like myself who's a part of the music scene already, that, you know, or other people that could say yes or no, or be a voucher, or you know, be that funnel, you know. And like you said, have a better ultimate ecosystem. I'm not trying to take over what they doing. Keep doing what you're doing, but at least let people let you know, like, yes, this is real.
Yeah.
You know,
100.
Yeah. Yep. And as a community, it's like we have to just do better too at educating ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we got to stop getting upset over shit that we A, see online, but B, stuff that we know that's not for us.
Yeah.
Like it's not meant for us.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it was like when you, and it's like, I'm not even about to get into naming off any names, but like when you get to a certain level, you have to be very naive to think that the heads, the executive directors, the presidents of these machines give a damn about your ass.
No.
You feel me? And respectfully, it's like every outlet like that has an agenda. So you may have something to do with their target audience, but what we talking about on some culture shit, on some underground shit, forget about it. It's just not that.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't want it to be that, because that polished shit is not the street. Like, that's not Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Nope.
That is meant for the people who are coming to Cleveland and need a safe Cleveland to raise their families and to, you know, to come over here and move over here for
everything
work.
I guess,
you know what I mean?
crazy.
So it's like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's for people that would never know a Aawful Aaron within, you know, just kind of just being here. Like that's like a Aawful Aaron, like a Toby. You feel me? Like a young, like that's some shit you gotta go digging through the crates for.
It's not safe, man. But it is safe if you really know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to y'all's events, you know, it was a fire atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
it's organic, but it's not safe.
Yeah, it's not.
But it was still fire. You know, if you like, I saw people that like are in Cleveland. It's like people like, okay, I know you out here. You start seeing people in Cleveland, like other creatives, like popping up at your events. You know, and it was like, this really is Cleveland. You know, you have Cleveland elements in your, you know, in your art. You know, it was. I enjoyed being at y'all's show, you know.
Oh, yeah.
What was that, the one at Zygite?
Yeah, Zygo Press.
Like Zygo Press? Yeah, like that shit was fire, bro. Like just all the different types of portraits, the big, you know, the one on the wall, like the big John, like that shit was hard, bro. I was like, they even went full scale on my ass. Because sometimes
talking about that piece from Jack.
Yeah, like that shit was just fire. Because like, not saying you guys are small time, but, you know, you see the art museum and it makes sense to see these big things, you know, but then it's like, I'm here with you guys right now, but then you still have these things that are like larger than life, you know, in your, you know, presentation, and that shit's hard, bro. That shit's hard, you know, and like, hey, that's another big up to y'all. Like, y'all fire, bro. This just larger than life mentality, you know. Yeah, that shit's hard, man.
And it's been paying off too, because a lot of those institutions, they finally paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, and they're paying attention in ways that you know, what we doing is it has to be working because it's putting that pressure on them
Mm-hmm.
to the point to where they have to either react, respond, or kind of get phased out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that's scary of any machine or institution. So, you know, it's what they say. It's like if you can't beat them, join them.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just like they not in a position to beat us because they not gonna come down here to fight the fight that we fighting. We can only go up.
Yeah, they ain't coming down.
So,
yeah, they can't come down, but
so
we can definitely go up.
So by the time they look up, you know, the fight is gonna be at their front door. So at that point, so it's basically now it's like, and if you know, you know, and if you paying attention,
it's just the case of who needs who.
Yeah,
you know, and that's the tug of war with it.
Yeah,
and that's what it always comes down to between like the culture and the machine is who needs who.
Man, the youth need y'all more than we need the machine.
Right.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? The people need y'all more than y'all need the machine. You know, that's the, you know, in terms of everything, it's the people, it's y'all, and then it's machine. Like they need y'all more than y'all need the machine. Like, yeah, you could give me some money, you know, or a little promo, but ultimately, y'all got it inside you that's going to, you know, pave that way to the new promised land, you know. Like you said, you paving the way straight to the future. Y'all see where it's going.
Yeah,
you don't need nobody, you know, above you or not to validate where you see shit going. You could clearly see where it's going, you know. And, hey, y'all already on the way to kind of push that, you know, because, like, hey, the future coming whether you want it or not. You know, that's
exactly.
Crazy, you know, it's coming.
It's coming.
But I also do like you guys said before previously, you know, you're just thinking of the future things, you know, but also still staying in tune with the traditional aspect. You know, that's what really make y'all so fire.
Exactly, and that's like when like me and Aaron, we got together when I was shooting the pictures for the Inner Museum.
Yeah.
And then I was on this Cleveland Renaissance, and then, you know, he tapped in and he put he was like young Cleveland Renaissance, and then that's when it tied it all together, because you know, we the Renaissance, all right, it's a rebirth, but it's also got that historical aspect. Yeah. So you got your history there, but then the young is like the most important part of it.
I didn't even
because
realize
without the young, and I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that, the word young as more than just like the word, but more of like, you know, a metaphor
liberation.
Or symbol.
It's
yeah,
like freedom. It's liberation.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
Like
so
forever young. Like when you hear statements like that, when you think of most hating at a base level, it's because you got somebody that maybe has grown or has had time pass talking down on somebody that has not experienced that. And it's like, it's because it's envy, maybe jealousy.
I don't like what you're doing because I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know what you're doing. I didn't get that opportunity.
Yeah.
Or I had that opportunity and I fumbled the bag.
That's crazy. That's pretty much a lot of times what hate really is, though. It's like I'm hating because I don't really know what's going on.
Lack of opportunity, loss of opportunity.
It's real close to that appreciation, though. Yeah. And that love. Like, it's real close.
It is, though. You know, and deep down, it's like you probably are a fan.
That's it.
You don't know how to articulate it.
No.
Necessarily.
Because you really deep down think that shit is really raw. Damn, why I ain't do that?
And so,
I'm
like,
I'm gonna hate instead.
No, straight up.
And we were talking about that. It's either gonna be love or hate. Like, you're either gonna love or hate it, and that's just, you know, you got to kind of draw that line in the sand and be all right with that.
Well, that's why y'all can't take it personal.
Exactly.
Because it's like once you understand like the thin line, it's like, they probably still do fuck with me, even though I know they just like dog my shit. Like,
right.
It's cool.
Man, the thing about it is you'll hate, you'll blow down, but at the end of the day, you still coming to all the shit.
Right. Still in this mug though.
You still talking.
Why you still keep coming?
You still gonna bring it up to your female and to your friend groups, and they gonna have to see for themselves because they like, bro, won't shut up about it. And now, and so while you were getting everybody around you invested, and as everybody kind of starting to see what it's really about, that really just reflects more so on you as an individual, and it goes back to that ego. Because if you see what we got going on, I would think the first reaction would be is like, bro, how do I get parts?
Yes.
Cut me in.
Let me get a % of that stock.
Anything.
You feel me? And and that'll show in a man's actions before it come out their mouth. You feel me? So, the individuals who are seemingly coming out of the woodwork to participate in this very thing that's happening in real time, it's nothing short of an accident.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a miracle.
Right.
It's just that timing.
It's
that
timing.
supreme timing.
It is that supreme timing.
Yeah. I mean, and I've been saying this. We were at a show, and I was talking to a few buddies, you know, some rappers, and I was like, who in Cleveland is doing something right now that is really changing the game? You know, they're like, we the hottest rappers out here. I was like, that's not what I asked. I said, who's doing something art-wise that's really, even in that aspect, it was music-wise, that's really changing the game, you know, that's really pushing the limits. You know, I'm the hardest rapper out here. That's not what I asked. You about to go down here. You about to put your track on. You about to rap on the stage. You ain't do nothing different.
Exactly.
Ain't no visuals. Ain't no light.
Your ass off.
Ain't no hologram. And I'm not taking nothing away from it because it's not like I'm about to go here and play drums and DJ the same way with you too. But I'm saying, like, in terms of trying to be great, you know, trying to push the limit, like, you know, like the visuals, you know, like innovate, you know, like we got all the tools, you know, everything is like is accessible nowadays. It's crazy. I went and bought one of those little handgun massagers. When them first came out, they was like $200, $300.
Right.
I bought that shit for $25 at Marshalls.
Good to go.
You know what I'm saying? But
good to go.
There's projectors that's like, if you want a projector, you could get it for like $50. You know, I mean,
just wait a little while.
And it's gonna get the job done.
It's gonna get the job done. You know, I seen my dude. Y'all know Unknown Phrases.
Yeah,
he was doing something somewhere, and just the lights and just like I was like, okay, they get it. Whoever playing that, like, that was hard. They went out their way. You know, he has some set design. He had some TVs and some things. Like, it wasn't just him playing beats. You know, and like I said, I'm cool with that too, because that could be a vibe. It don't always got to be over the top, but like, you know, like you said, it is time, you know, for that new wave of really pushing the limits. You know,
and so it's like, so really what we talking about here is like, it's like, you know, a new sense and ideation of, you know, how are we treating our experiences?
Yeah.
Yep. Shit, if you ask me who the hardest rapper in Cleveland right now, I'm gonna say Kissing Fish.
Hey, Kissing Fish.
Yeah, right? man, yo, like Toby's alter ego.
Oh, that's your.
That's my alter ego. Yeah, you know, I sing,
is
I rap.
It Kissing Fish?
Kissing Fish.
How do you spell it? Like, how is like?
It's just like KISSING.
Kissing Fish.
Yep.
Got
Kissing Fish.
Kissing Fish.
And I bring this up because I only seen this man perform one time.
Yeah.
And that's all it took.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, it's original music. He actually performing, meaning like he coming into it consciously thinking about how I'm about to give these people, deliver my music as an experience.
For sure.
A lot of these artists, rappers, painters, mural, whatever it is, a lot of people think that it's enough to just be good at your craft. That's crazy to me.
Man.
Yeah.
Not today.
Like that's and that kind of goes to show you where we are. It's like mediocrity has gotten so accepted.
Yes.
That like niggas forgot what going above and beyond low key is.
Yes.
To the point to where it's like you get a person who's habitually in that bag, and we almost make that person feel like they crazy for going hard.
Right.
Because everything else is just not close because there's no desire for that.
Yeah,
you see that. You'll see that. That's why a lot of cats, you know, they're afraid to be a little different because it's like if you step out of that pocket, you know, and you kind of start flashing your colors a certain way, they're gonna be like, "Nah, I don't fuck with that," you know, just because. But the truth is, on the real side, is like that's new, you know. But sometimes when it's like, oh, you trying to outshine. You know, you're doing too much now. Yeah. But on the real, it's like, no, you're really taking it there.
Yeah, you're really taking it there.
You got to be really willing to stand or to die on that sword or something new to be able to embrace it.
That's so true.
Like, in like an example, I would say, like, you know, if I would have told anybody that was in the art space or has been in the art space what my plan was for Aawful Land, I would have been so discouraged. And so I would have been told to do everything but that. But so what I did was I didn't tell anybody, not even my close OGs, nothing. Yeah. It was kind of like, okay, this is going to be the opportunity, da-da-da-da. Oh, what's the word? This the logistics? Okay. And in my head the whole time, I'm like, bro, they can't shoot it down if they don't know.
That's right.
And that's a thing. Like a lot of people get discouraged because they get to popping their gums and they get to talking too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Before the shit is even off the ground.
Yeah.
You feel me? We talking about Young Cleveland Renaissance today because it's already on the way.
It's already in motion now.
It's
already here.
Coming.
But
it's here.
But
my man got a shirt on.
It just
like, once
rings
you put it on the
bells.
shirt,
Whenever
it's
you
here.
say it, it just rings bells. Everybody recognizes.
Yeah.
Like you hear it. Like
Yeah, it's here, man.
So like, like YCR, like that's something that we now are just continuing to just put energy into because it's a baby. So now we just nurturing that seed.
Going strong off the milk.
Strong off the milk.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I'm sorry, I got a little distracted or not distracted, sidetracked. I was just gonna say like being risky and counting on yourself, leaning in, that's gonna be your best bet.
Yes.
Every time.
You gonna cut through the market.
Yes, exactly.
People will stop being themselves, an authentic individual, to go be like something that they'll think
Get them
that'll
popping.
get them more successful.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can't get away and do the shit that Toby do and vice versa.
Vice versa, exactly.
But that's why we appreciate each other, because now we can come together as two individuals, and now it's like we just cover even more ground.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because now the space and what makes us different, we can actually work that out in real time, and we can demonstrate that.
What just happened is two snowballs have now collided, and now it's a bigger one coming down the hill.
It's avalanche season.
It's avalanche.
And I say it's avalanche season because with an avalanche, it's not one singular snowball. Like it's
the whole shit coming down.
There's from all angles, and you might not even know where it necessarily started. And that's why I say avalanche, because it's like nobody will be able to pinpoint like
where it came from.
You just see it when it's already behind you. Like, oh shit!
Straight up, you feel me? Like it's like people, and I also don't want to get this misconstrued either. It's like people look at it like, yo, it might be my time now, but we got people that's being there's individuals that are currently right now being groomed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the next Aawful Aaron, the next Kissing Fish or Toby, I'm not gonna say is
XYZ.
You feel me? Like it's like that's already in the works.
Yeah.
And, it'll be a time and point where if they already not working with us, it's gonna be a time and point where we cross paths.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, this shit crazy, man. Y'all on some wild shit, man. Y'all just like, y'all here, but y'all not here. Y'all like here, but in the future at the same time. I don't know how y'all pulling that off. Some weird like time jumping thing
That's
y'all
what
doing.
I mean. It's that timeline jumping, bro. Yes.
Clairvoyancy at its finest.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Get you some of that magnetic attraction, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. Man, y'all came with the crazy fish today, too. My man got the babes on the white on white. Babes?
I had to do it, man. Like, I remember when the babes dropped, bro. And I was, like, in the dunks and, it's the Get Fresh era 2.0 for me right now.
Okay.
Which means, like, for a while, I kind of, like, I was just, like, I went totally left on the Kissing Fish, and I was just, and I'm still going to do that. But like it was time to get fresh how I used to get fresh back when I was like, in my early 20s. And then I was like, I remember when the Babes came out and like I hated on them when they came out. I was like, oh, these shits, blah, blah, blah. Bathe the Nape, I don't get this shit.
Yeah. Right.
But that's because I didn't respect the future
at
that time, because I was super in my underground bag. And when you're in that underground bag, sometimes being in too underground, you need to keep your ear to the mainstream and be like, well, if if 10 million people like this thing, then maybe I should learn. Maybe I should pick up a lesson from that. Why do so many people like it? But I was just. But then I'm like, you know what? Nah, it's time. It's Bape season, because it's like what I like about it is like they ripped off Nike.
They did.
And I'm like, that's
I'm looking at them right now. I'm like,
you know what I mean?
They definitely
clean
did.
Ripped them off, and they still getting litigated for that.
Yeah. And facts. Anybody that know that history about just Nego, Neckface, fucking BBC, like all of that. Like that is a very artsy brand. Like that's one of the original
what's the R?
Super brands.
That art, man, I don't know. Restricted, bro.
I don't know.
It's that restricted. Yeah, that R. It's crazy. But I'm like, No, for real. And so I had to pay homage.
Yeah, no, he did.
And just, you know, I was getting back in my Nike bag. But it's like, I fuck with Nike and I love Nike. But at the same time, it's like a love-hate. So I want to be like, no, fuck you. I'm going to get the babes.
Yeah, babes
Yeah.
are rebellious.
And then I was like, looking at it like, it wasn't really like
Bitch
an
is
investment.
clean.
But I was like, I know they might get really hammered. Like, I was looking at the lawsuit shit. And I'm like, they might really get hammered. And then, like, these shits, like, you really won't be able to, like, you'll probably be able to get them always. But, you know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are babes still accessible? I mean, you could probably get them.
Oh yeah, babes, they're all over the place. You
Yeah.
can get them. You
Mhm.
can get them anywhere. But I just like the fact that they stuck it to Nike like that. That's dope.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's like I feel like I'm a shooting star. Like we're shooting stars.
Yeah.
And when you see that shooting star and that comet go by, it's time. It's time to act.
Yeah.
You don't wait.
Straight up.
You start moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art loves speed.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. It's not, and yeah, it's like if we were to go to like some art of war, you know, and build out that metaphor, it's not the biggest army that wins. Sometimes it's the fastest army that wins.
You just gotta
And
get
there,
there.
and which army who's there in place first. So like
Mhm.
that's what we're trying to do with the young Cleveland Renaissance.
Yeah. Yeah. Man.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Y'all know you got something on your brain.
No, I was just gonna say January 12th.
Yes, sir.
We strategically didn't really go into the details of that because we just want people to come out.
Mhm.
We want people to come out and
Yep.
experience it for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna hear about it either way, this, that, and the third. But say the date. We'll be posting that here. By the time this is probably even up and going, the bird will probably already be out. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm excited. I've already been talking to a few, one of the artists that we was talking about getting on. You know, I'm gonna keep that a secret too, but you know, it's just gonna be a good time, man. It's gonna be a good time. I'm glad to be a
100.
part, you know, and the fact that, like you said, that you got the block too, like that's gonna be fire to have like these locations, you know, give people a little move around, a little wiggle room, you know.
Yeah.
Go see some things, make it feel like you was almost like an amusement park, you know. You got
Yeah, the
Universal, got
attractions.
Epcot over there,
Right.
Yeah, attractions,
up,
Yeah. Epcot.
Mhm.
2024. We just keeping the same energy. You know, we gonna at least try to do an activation each quarter.
Okay.
You know, so that's 4 quarters in a year. I'm clipping up right now. I'm working on my second solo show.
Mm-hmm.
I know Toby cooking right now.
Cooking.
So
Yeah.
this is like what people have experienced thus far between both of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Like that was really us just like kind of just getting in our still getting in our emotion.
Okay.
Now that we can kind of come now that it's kind of back to the drawing board season, and now we can kind of like I don't want to say decompress, but more so reassess the different things that we've been able to do. Just like the artists we are, you know, we can learn from that, and now we can plan forward.
Yep.
And we can take our successes, and we can take what didn't work, and invite ultimately new things to try and work with.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, you know, we working with a winning formula. I feel like at this point, like,
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Like, hey, one of my new sayings I've been saying, and hey, I didn't come up with it, but it's up. And
It's
that,
up.
but that's a good one, man, because it
know.
is, man. I just been feeling that. Like I said, the last couple of years, especially like 2023, it's been an up year. It's been a good trajectory year, you know.
Yes.
All off of hard work, you know.
Very
that, you know,
It was it was a hard working year.
Busy
but
year.
It was a good year.
It was a good year,
Even
man.
though it was tough sometimes when you was in the trenches, but yep.
Yeah, 2024. It's time though.
Oh yeah.
It's time. Yeah. Well,
it's time.
so to the top with grace.
that's right. I gotta give me one of the shirts too,
Peace.
man.
Oh yeah, you know, we
Yeah.
might have a little something.
Need
I won't
that.
reveal too much, but we
Yeah,
may
don't say too much. That
we,
is
we
clean,
won't
though.
say too much, but we might have something people can, you know, look out for.
Hey, just keep looking though.
Keep looking.
That's what the
Keep
people gotta do. Just
looking.
keep
Now is
looking.
not the time to sleep.
No, don't sleep. Don't sleep, man.
sleep.
Don't. We need all the insomnia. We need everybody to have insomnia.
Yeah.
Stay up.
Stay up.
Well,
All right, y'all.
out of here.
We out. Peace.